is up, YouTube gang? Thank y'all for tuning back into the
guys.
shenanigans side of things because y'all need some shenanigans in y'all life. Today we head into the top 10 scariest rides.
Oh, okay.
Top 10.
I'm like, I
I
don't
haven't actually
scary.
been on a roller coaster in years, y'all. I used to be a big fiend,
Same.
or a big
No.
fan, but they say as you get older, like when you don't do it, like you go back, it's not the same. So I remember the last time I did do it as an adult, it did not feel the same as it did as a kid. The adrenaline rush was not there. It was like
I'm just not a fan of roller coasters. I've been on roller coasters, but I've been on too many to realize this is not for me. I'm just not a roller coaster person.
so
I think the most scariest ones is like when they go back and forth, and then you feel yourself like coming like sliding down. That's like the worst.
I can't tell you if I do it. I gotta just go to a music park this summer. I guess we gonna hit a trip and see if I can do it. I gotta see if I can do it.
You know what's the scariest one to me that I've always thought?
What?
The one at Six Flags, the one that's made out of wood.
It's gone. They ain't there no more.
Oh, it's not.
They took that down.
As someone who's ridden a lot of rides, and I mean a lot of rides, they don't faze me like they used to. I remember as a kid being terrified of roller coasters. Something about the height and the speed really put me on edge. Now that I've ridden roller coasters all around the world, roller coasters don't scare me at all, not even slightly. The rides that do still freak me out are the ones that play with your senses, make you feel unsafe or unsettled. It's rare that something like this happens, but every once in a while an attraction comes along that actually freaks me out. These are the 10 scariest rides that I've ever ridden. And I want
He's ever written.
I agree. Like that, I think that's what it is for me. Your sense, it played with you. Like you hanging over a building or doing some extra stuff. Like it's not your normal roller coaster we used to ride. Like you get on a roller coaster, do a loop, do a down
Would
drop.
you do Superman?
I've done Superman.
What about the one? It was new to me, but the one where like it's a roller coaster, but the only thing that's holding you is your chest, like your feet are dangling.
Yeah, I've
and
done
stuff.
that. Top 2, yeah.
Yeah. What about the one?
Every last
What about
ride,
the one where you're laying down?
every last ride that's there?
The whole roller coaster you're laying down. No, see.
He talking about now. I know where he going. I see what he's saying. Yeah, I'm not messing with nothing like this.
I'm gonna start things off with Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Mountain Monster. Mountain Monster is actually a complex made up of a couple different rides, including a drop tower and saddle swing, but this is the main headlining attraction. It's kind of similar to a sky coaster, except you're actually sitting in a seat, strapped in. They tilt you forwards like a dive coaster, and then release you, and you plummet to the ground, dangling from cables. I think what makes this so scary is the fact that the restraints are pretty minimalist. We're talking about some pretty tight seat belts. The fact that it forces you to look at the ground and that cables are the only thing preventing you from dying. It's definitely an awesome thrill that I recommend checking out. At the number 9 spot, we have what was at one point the world's tallest starflyer, but it's the tallest starflyer I've ever done. This is the one down in Orlando, and I've done this one countless times. It doesn't get me quite like it used to, but it still puts me a little bit on edge. I don't know if I'm quite at the level where I'll put my hands up while riding this thing.
I won't even do the swing one. You know the one that's like I think it's at Six Flags or somewhere. It's like the swing one. It goes up a little bit, but it don't go up like that. But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's with the chains. I won't even do that.
He said, "Wait, y'all. I haven't got to the point to put my hands up, bro. I ain't got to the point to get on.
Yeah,
You talking about put your hands up? Did you see how high that was? I'm not that." Bro, there's no reason for me to be dangling in the air that high. Like, there is absolutely no reason.
I'm so nervous. Just me thinking about it, I'm putting myself in that.
Because these aren't rides at this point. This is just basically just putting fear in you. Like, this ain't a ride at this point. A ride is like...
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, like, a ride is like, okay, it make me a little nervous, but it's fun at the same time. By the time I get off, I'm like, yes, my adrenaline's pumping, I'm excited. This gets you on there, it's like, God, I could have died.
A roller coaster's a ride. These are not rides.
This is, I could have died. This is, I could have died. That they gonna have a sticker waiting for you to get off, but did you die? That's what this ride is.
So
literally, that's what they give you every time you walk off.
Hang on. This thing's about 450 feet tall, so it's absolutely enormous, and you're hanging from chains. And while I know that they're perfectly safe, it's again one of those things that plays with your senses. It makes you feel like something could go wrong at any time. But let me tell you, the views are awesome. The ride experience is great. It's super long. I always have a blast on this thing, but it doesn't mean it doesn't freak me out a little. At the number 8 spot is a ride that on paper shouldn't be terrifying at all. This is at a remote theme park in Japan that I visited, and all it is a calm little bike ride along some track. It's roller coaster track, but it's completely human powered. There's no electricity or anything. Unlike the other attractions, what makes this one terrifying is that it does feel unsafe. There are 2 seats per car, and each one of them are positioned over the rails, so part of your body is just ever so slightly hanging outside the track, and you know that you could easily just jump off and you die instantly. And it plays with your senses even more when you go around this turn when you're super elevated, way off the ground. The track banks slightly outwards. It is so freaky. I was way on edge doing this thing. It was a ride that I didn't expect to freak me out, but I'm on this thing and I'm like, I don't know about this, guys. But I'm so glad I did it, and honestly, it's one of my favorite attractions I've ever done.
That was lit. I can do it.
No, for me, I think I'd be that person that's like legs are shaking and I can't, like I'm barely going like this with my legs, like just kind of. No, they're gonna be like, hurry up! I'm trying.
I can rock with that one. Like that, you getting the
yo, you rocking.
You getting the views. You getting that's lit. I can roll with that. And you controlling your destiny at that point. Like you ain't gotta go fast. You ain't gotta be going down the hill. Like it's in your hands. Like you chilling.
It's literally a buckle.
To Las Vegas, Nevada for the number 7 attraction. This is Big Shot, which is an S&S drop tower on top of the Strat, formerly the Stratosphere Hotel. The actual tower is only 160 feet tall. The problem is it's on top of one of the tallest towers in the world. So the total height is over 1,000 feet in the air. So you are launched to the tippy top of this thing. And because of the way you're seated, you don't know how much higher you're going to go. So when you shoot up, you feel like you're just going to rocket straight off and then fall to the ground and you're gonna die. It's already unsettling being at that top deck of that hotel, but then when you ride this thing, it's like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely insane. But you want to talk about a better drop tower? The Orlando Freefall at Icon Park. Yes, the same place that houses the Orlando Starflyer just recently built a drop tower. And this thing is freakish.
He had me a recently built. See, listen, y'all, it ain't been tested enough for me yet. Recently built ain't enough. I need a few people to get on it. Let it sit about a year. Let the screws get a little loose, the welds break a little bit, to make sure we are in safe hands. Because right now it is fresh. Nothing is squeaking yet. Nothing is making no noise. I know it ain't been around long enough for me to get on it. Fresh is not me. Anything new, y'all won't catch me on. I apply that to life. If it's a new car, I gotta go out for a little bit for me. I gotta see the recalls. I gotta see what's going on. If it's gonna catch on fire,
me personally, just thinking about it, I don't do fairs. I don't do fair rides. They go up too fast and come down too faster. Like, it's the amount of time that it takes them to put it up. Like, that is so mind-blowing.
And people really need them.
I know.
Risking their life to see Jesus.
Not me.
Actually tall. It sits at ground level, so it plays with a different kind of fear than what Big Shot does. Big Shot messes with your head because of how high up you are. This plays with your fear because you realize how long of a fall that is. You drop and you're falling for an uncomfortable amount of time. Not to mention, the seats tilt about 30 degrees. This is a ride that is so thrilling. My hands sweat every time I ride it, but I love it. It's so good. Most drop towers don't freak me out, but this is one that does, and I love it. So I made it to the number 5 spot. Let's go down the road to Kissimmee, Florida. And there's a lot of sky coasters out there. But by far the most thrilling one I've ever done is the world's tallest at Fun Spot Kissimmee. Now, is it the best sky coaster? Well, I haven't done Royal Rush at Royal Gorge in Colorado. That one by far looks to be the scariest. But this one's pretty crazy. I mean, it's located directly over water, and there's a fountain right at the bottom that you feel like you're just gonna hit. Not to mention, when you're 300 feet in the air, you're literally free falling, and you're in a freaking suit. It's the same sort of fear of what Mountain Monster has, except for this, they just removed the vehicle. This is about as close to free falling as it gets without skydiving.
Man, I'm not even climbing up that. Listen, y'all.
Yeah,
I know
this is giving me a headache.
I know I might have a few. I know I might have a few on this channel, right? Listen, if you ever worked in the oil fields, my oil field workers come in, the derrick. It's tall. Like, you climb up there, you got to be moving poles and pipes around and all that stuff. Like, and don't lose your little safety line and go all the way to the top, because then you got to go higher to go get that joint. Listen, being up there is scary. So I can, like, you have to climb. Like, I saw the little thing. You climb. Man, you're not even going to get me to climb up there. Like, it's not happening. It's not.
It's literally giving me like a nasty. I feel like I'm on these rides.
Somebody would have to like literally strap me to them and climb me up, like, and make me go down. Like, there's no.
It needs to be like an elevator or something.
I'm not going up there for that.
For the number 4 attraction, let's go back to the Strat. They have a couple rides up there. We already talked about Big Shot. Let's talk about Insanity. And this might be the most perfectly named ride ever to exist, because that's all you need to know. It's absolutely insane. You sit in these chairs, which, first of all, it's only a lap bar. So already, that's terrifying. It takes you out over the edge, and then it starts rotating. You're literally forced to look down over 900 feet below you. I'm literally sweating just talking about this ride. Whoever designed this ride is a complete psychopath. You talk about a ride that is unsettling. I literally did this once, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. It was that terrifying. Definitely one of the biggest adrenaline rushes I've ever had in my life.
I can imagine.
It's a psychopath that made it, but then there's psychopaths that are going on it. Did you ever watch Spy Kids?
Yes, I seen.
This literally looks like Spy Kids.
Ain't no way. Diddy hung somebody off the side of a building. Like, not by choice.
What
See?
does that have to do with it?
Because they hanging off the side of a building. By choice. Like, that person didn't have
People
a
are
choice.
hanging from a pole on the other
Right,
one.
I don't
They're
listen.
like,
I'm not hanging off the side of nothing. Like, don't put no. Like, why? Why? What about that is satisfying? What about that is telling you
but you'll do the other rides.
that's a roller coaster? That is a ride. These are attractions. These are not rides. These are
Well, they're meant
attractions.
to attract you.
Only at the number 4 spot. We still got some crazy ones coming up. We've made it to our top 3. Let's go to Colorado. This is Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. One of my favorite places I've ever been, and they have a ride that is so messed up. This is the
Man.
Giant Canyon Swing. It's an S&S Screamin' Swing. 4 riders sit back to back, and depending on which side you're at, you either look straight down at the canyon below, or you get launched off the canyon looking straight up at the sky.
That one looks
And you know,
more-
you would think that the side where you're forced to stare straight down is scarier. It's not. The side where you're getting launched off is
The
way
structure's better than a
freakier.
lot.
This is a ride that absolutely made my heart race. I had the courage to do it more than insanity. This is another one of those rides where I say, whoever came up with this thing is messed up. You almost get more people watching it than riding it, but it's so photogenic. So if you go here,
not
be sure to
hanging
bring
off
your
the side of
phone
I
because
couldn't
you're
even
gonna
hold my
want to
phone
take
off
a
me.
lot of pictures. When I went,
Man.
I spent a full day here, and I'm so glad my phone was fully charged. And our number 2 attraction is one that you'll definitely want to capture the moment for. This is Pterodactyl at Cave of the Winds. So take Mountain Monster from earlier and put it in a canyon. So before, where you're dropping towards Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, now you're dropping into a cavern below, and you think you're gonna hit the rocks on the other side. Oh, and did I mention this thing is also a
That's
lot
not even a
taller?
ride.
This is a 400-foot cavern. So yeah, you could like fit Dragster from top to bottom. And this thing plunges you all the way down, gives you a real scenic look. But it's honestly kind of hard to focus on the view when you're like totally freaking out. This is another one of those attractions where I only rode it once. I'm so glad I did it, but man, it was terrifying.
No, because if you fall, you're dying. You're getting
thing
every
is-
broken bone.
But I'm
and
right.
everything.
I'm now questioning what he's saying. Who is sitting around saying, "Oh, hey, let me go build a ride over here off the edge of this cliff"? Like, whose mind is just sitting around thinking about stuff like this? Like, I'm starting thinking on some Jeffrey Dahmer time. Like, how are you sitting around saying this is the perfect location to just throw this crazy attraction, and people go get on it? Like,
And they do.
man, I need to talk to these
And
humans
they
because
do.
these ain't regular humans building this type of stuff. They gotta be like sick in the head. Ain't no way.
Would I do it again? I mean, yeah, probably. Hey, there's nothing quite like that first time ride. Once you did it, you feel like you can conquer anything. So why not do it again? Well, unless we're talking about our number 1 attraction. No way am I doing this thing again. X-Scream is our number 1 scariest
gonna-
ride.
you probably-
And it
you
is
probably
the
die
3rd
thinking
and
about it.
final attraction in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Strat. And I don't think I've ever been so stressed in my life than riding this thing. And it's
Heck
so
no.
simple. We're literally talking about a seesaw, but they put it on top of a freaking building. So it tilts you, and then you start sliding forward, and you think you're just gonna fly straight off the tower down to
Well,
the
it
ground
just
below,
took
and
that
you're
one
gonna be
time.
dead. This is the one of the most psychologically demented attractions in the world. I only rode this once. I sat in the front row by myself, and I thought that was it for me. So if you learned anything from this video,
I ain't learned nothing. Only thing you taught me is not
To
to get
never
on
do
none
it.
of that.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
who that last one? Like that
I'm
that
not
just looked
doing
like it just want to
Do
fail.
they make you sign stuff? When
You
get on
got
there?
to. You have to be. I mean, they gotta be. Like
At least give me some cushion that, God forbid, if something happens, let me know that I'm gonna fall on something.
there's
soft.
no way that ride is like past. Like there's no way OSHA is allowing this stuff to
OSHA?
fly. Like there has to be some guidelines.
No,
like to get
these
this
are.
stuff.
I would not get on any of these. You couldn't pay me enough money. You couldn't pay me $1 million to get on these.
I don't need to go experience my
Okay, maybe
life
a
for
few,
like.
but-
My thing is, I don't need to get on the ride to feel like I might die. That's not my goal. My goal is to be a little scared because it's fast. Like I said, a loop-de-loop, big drop. But I should not have to get on the ride to think if I'm gonna die today. Like that's not the
That's
feeling I want to
true.
feel. That's not a feeling I'm trying to feel getting on this ride. Like, oh, I just might die
This
getting on
gave
it.
me a headache because thinking about it gave me a headache.
That's
it made
crazy.
me like feel nauseous because I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh my god, like this is. So
All right, y'all got some
bad.
jobs to do. Anybody in the comment section, if you've been on any of these top 10 rides, please
let us
drop
know.
your
And
crazy
don't
comment.
lie and say, oh, it's not bad. We know it was. We seen how it looked.
Drop your crazy comment down if you did, because you crazy as I don't know what. And I need to know your crazy
You're a
story
psychopath.
and why you got on it. Please let us know if y'all been on any of
Were
these
you
crazy rides.
Were you bribed? Were you paid?
Man, somebody paid you for it, something like. Yeah, that's crazy. But anyways, this was a great video. Thank y'all for sending this over. Thank y'all for tuning back in with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. See y'all in the
Until
next
next
one.
time.